The daily routines of family life can be disrupted when a family member has a sudden medical crisis.
Normal routines kind of get upended, everybody thrown into an anxious state of mind. So what do we do in these situations? How do we support each other? Oh, you're worried about the wrong thing to say, the wrong priority. Relationship guru Dr. Kirsten Lind Seal joins us live this morning. It's so tough. Everybody's been there, and I think we all feel like, did I do this right? I don't know. Right. It's really tough.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's hard to know exactly what to do because we're all so anxious, right? I mean, a first place to start is understanding that people really react differently to crises like this. There are some people who will really reach out towards friends, other family members, clergy, whatever, for support, and then there's some who really withdraw. And the really important thing to keep in mind is there's one thing isn't necessarily better than the other. It's just different ways of managing, and understanding that both of those ways are okay, or anything in between can be really helpful and supportive.
A lot of times you hear from people, well, let me know what I can do. And I wonder, you know, I'm not going to let you know what you can do. It just, you know, you say some people reach out, some people don't. What advice do you have for people that may be trying to help?
Yes. So what I would say is offer something specific. Okay, that's the kind of thing that can be most helpful. So, for example, saying, I can bring you food. Do you want chicken soup or chili? Or I will order you something from the fried chicken place down the street. Or, you know, what kind of soup do you want? Like, those people usually have bandwidth for saying, you know, I hate split pea, but bring me tomato soup. That'd be great. So very specific is really helpful, because the person that you're offering to is probably just got so much on their mind already that it's going to be hard for them to actually pick and choose. There are a bunch of things online like letsdish.com, and there's a bunch of different places where you can pick out food. Like, it's kind of great. So you can look something up online and see if there's a way to be helpful in that way.
It is perhaps the prime time to extend that grace to other people in your sphere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What I like to say is to, you know, leave a lot of space for what may seem like bad behavior. Someone who is normally pretty calm, they might find themselves shouting in the middle of 34th Street, for example, at a car that's driven by too fast. While you know, normally you might sort of look at them and say, what is going on with you? You actually don't have to say that, because you know what's going on with them. And so just sort of being understanding, you know, and maybe, you know, getting them out of the street is a very helpful way to be.
Right.
No judgment is basically what I would say.
Yeah, and sort of the typical definition of a medical crisis is it may get better, it may get worse, it may be good one day, it may not be the next day, and you're going to react to that.
Exactly. So again, understanding that, you know, every day, like, things will look good, and then there may be an obstacle, even on a fairly steadily, you know, going in the right direction recovery. There can be bumps up and down. This thing happened, that thing happened, this didn't happen as quickly as we hoped, you know, et cetera. And so understanding that it's not linear, and leaving space for that. It's really important.
Do you have advice for the person who is in the situation? So these are great tips for the rest of us as we try to help. But what do you do if it's your family?
If it's your family member, one of the things that is really important to do is to try to reframe. And by reframe, I don't mean pretend that everything's okay, or pretend that you're not upset, you know, and terrified and sad and angry about the whole situation. But what I mean by reframe is try to see this situation as a challenge, and hold on to the fact that human beings are resilient. And so sort of looking at it like, you know, how can I get through this best, as opposed to feeling like you're sinking into a pit of despair. And this is where, even if you're a person who doesn't necessarily reach out, social support can be so important in these times. Try to find somebody. This is really, actually, there's been some recent writing on this. To try to find somebody you can cry with, so that literally you could just call up and say, oh my goodness, I just heard this, or oh my goodness, like, I heard a good thing, and that made me feel like, oh, thank goodness I realized how scared I was, and now I can just cry for a couple minutes on the phone. You know, the big ugly cries, that's probably going to make you feel the best. So find people you might be able to do that with is really helpful.
And that's good advice for both the caregiver and the person who's going through the crisis.
Yes.
All right, Kirsten, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah.